the impact of decentralized identity is fundamentally going to change our relationship with the internet over the next 5 years.
Did you hear that? There was a micro expression there which tells me this guy is very confident of what he just said. Let me play back the question and the full answer. This, I believe, is one of the most underrated comments that didn't make any headlines, but I think is one of the most important things that was shared at the conference that isn't being talked about. I know the Lightning Layer 2 network, I know that made a lot of headlines, but this, I think, is even bigger. Let's play the full question and the full answer, and we'll talk about it after.
What is the most exciting thing that you see on the horizon? Maybe not too far out, but something that may surprise the audience that you see coming maybe at your company or within the industry?
We're going to be doing some really, really big things in decentralized identity over the next year. I think it's one of the most exciting spaces to be working in.
Before I let him continue, I want you to know who he is. He's the general manager of TBD at Block. That's the research department at Block. Block was formerly known as Square, which is a company owned by this guy, Jack Dorsey. He founded Twitter. He definitely knows what he's doing. And in November, they released a white paper about their TBDEX protocol. A white paper means it's their blueprint for a protocol, for a crypto that they're about to release. The TBDEX protocol facilitates decentralized networks of exchange between assets by providing a framework for establishing social trust utilizing decentralized identity, DiD, and verifiable credentials to establish the provenance of identity in the real world. So a marketplace or a protocol that allows people to exchange without revealing their identity, but being able to identify the credentials of that person to make sure that you're dealing with a real person, but you may not know who that person is. Okay, so with that in mind, let's hear the rest of his answer.
It certainly is very important for our goals around Bitcoin, but it's, I think, just in terms of the internet itself and what we've seen in terms of the concentration of power in these large platforms and services, and how we've given so much control over our lives away to just very few companies in those account models, in those sticky, like very, very hard to break network effects that are there, is such a big problem that I believe decentralized identity is one of the biggest tools coming down the line that is really going to start to address these like really, really large systemic problems that we have today. And obviously, like, we're focusing on it from a money angle, but like I believe that the impact of decentralized identity is fundamentally going to change our relationship with the internet over the next 5 years.
His face at the end gives me a clue that he knows what he's talking about. I think the type of data that he has access to, the type of circles that he's operating in, I think he knows the gravity of what he just said. And let's just review a couple of the terms he said. One of them was that we've given our power and the data to these centralized networks that are sticky, and the network effects that are hard to break because they're so sticky. We have years of tweets. We have years of photos on Facebook. So how likely are we to move over to a new Facebook? These networks have sticky power. And so I think that's his reasoning behind why we're going to most likely not move to decentralized social networks as fast as we think. So I dove deeper on what they're getting into, and I want to share with you a couple things from the white paper that I think are really important. I believe this term decentralized identity needs to become very important for every one of us. Or we're going to make the same mistakes we did in Web 2 and give all the power and the wealth to a few monopolistic big tech companies. Okay, so this is what they're going to do about it. The protocol provides a framework for creating on-ramps and off-ramps from systems of fiat to cryptocurrency without the need for going through centralized exchanges. The protocol affords for the secure exchange of identity and mechanisms for allowing participants to comply with laws and regulations. Okay, so right now, there's a lot of new users in DeFi, and I'm sharing a lot of different plays and investments inside DeFi, decentralized finance. But in order to participate in decentralized finance, the on-ramp from fiat, from dollars and euros, from paper government-backed currencies into cryptocurrency, we still need to use centralized exchanges. And that's where we have know your customer, we present IDs, and then our activity is surely tracked very well. And we're also trusting the centralized institutions with our data, our identity, and so on. And so it seems like this is providing a anonymous on-ramp and off-ramp into that system that will open all types of opportunities, but also challenges, as with anything in this new unfolding decentralized world. Okay, so this is what it would look like to on-ramp fiat currency into cryptocurrency without revealing the identity of the person doing it, but providing a way for them to be verified as a real person. And they use ZK, zero knowledge, and that's the ability to verify something without actually seeing the data directly. And that's an interesting advancement there. It is an open source protocol. If you have ideas how this works, you can go, they welcome your input on how to improve this white paper. Interesting things, interesting developments. I'm paying attention to who are building the systems of the future. How are we interacting with these systems of the future? What are the smartest contracts there are to be making right now? Jump over into the Discord. I've got channels there dedicated to talking about this as we go out and we build and we make smarter contracts that give us time, give us freedom, and compensate us correctly for the time, energy, and attention that we're paying to these networks. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to see you in the next video.